Hello Seekers, and welcome to another Pick a Card reading with your host, me, Kim. So the title of this Pick a Card is Healing Medicine, and this Pick a Card was inspired by one of you Seekers, so thank you so much for being the inspiration behind this Pick a Card. So the intention of this reading is to receive healing messages from spirit and source that can help us as guidance for specific situation or just overall. And to help us receive these messages, we're going to be looking at both tarot and oracle cards. We're also going to be pulling out notes containing specific messages from our treasure box over here with the help of our lovely pendulum that was gifted to us by the lovely KINO from the channel KINO Tarot. If you have not checked out her channel, she also does pick a card tarot readings. I will be providing the link in the description box down below. She is an awesome tarot reader. She is also a great singer, a great musician, so I will also be providing her link to her music channel down below. Okay, so we have 4 groups to choose from. Oh yeah, thank you Kino. So we have 4 groups to choose from. The first group is the element of air. The second group is the element of earth. The third group is the element of water. And the fourth group is the element of fire. So please do pause the video, take the time to meditate, relax, breathe on it, and whatever glass, bottle, or element calls out to you, then that will be your group. And I will see you in a bit with your reading. Let's get to it. Hello Seekers who chose group number 1, the element of air. So firstly, I will begin with an intuitive message and then we'll be moving into the cards. Okay, so the only messages I heard when connecting with the energy of this group was the word up and also soar, up and soar. And I felt a lot of pressure going up to the top of my head, so it seems like there's a lot of mental energy going on. Okay, so now let us look into the cards. And it could be so because air does relate to sword energy, which is mental energy, thoughts. Okay, so I will be first pulling an oracle card. Now this is a new deck, and I will not be interpreting this card. This is a healing medicine for you to take home. I want you to please take a moment, read the message in this card. I will read it for you aloud. Look at the image, but also look at the message. There are 3 short messages in this card. Whichever grabs your attention, if all of them do, if one specific or 2 grab your attention, then please pay attention to them. And sit with yourself, see what comes up, what's the first thought that comes to your mind, and how do you digest these messages and how you interpret them. Pay attention to that. Okay, so the card that came out for group number 1 is Remkulas. So this is the name of this artist, and the messages are: breathing is secondary, don't forget to think. A good manifesto is, foremost, legible. Reconsider your concept of small versus big. Okay, so now we will be moving into the cards. So the first card is a tarot card, and this is to represent the general energy of this group. Okay, so we have the 10 of Vessels, happiness in reverse. Those who are familiar with the traditional tarot, this is the 10 of Cups. Okay? Okay, now first of all, water represents emotions. It has to do with intuition. It also is this feeling of going with the flow, of release, of letting go. Okay, with it being in reverse, I am seeing that with this group, there is this sense of the word inhibition came, but like this sense of blockage, because we do see a lot of cups being represented here. Now cups or vessels, I usually see them or relate them to body, because like cups hold water, our bodies hold our energy, so they are vessels in a way. And I'm seeing these cups as being other people, or as being tasks or projects, or like I'm seeing that a lot a lot of these people who chose this group feel like they have a lot of responsibility. It can be responsibility to other people, or it can feel like this responsibility to self, but it's like dividing yourself amongst different tasks, amongst different things. So I'm sensing like you feel this responsibility or need to exercise, one to your work, to your career, to your hobby, to your health, and it feels like it's too much, and maybe there is this feeling of guilt or shame for not accomplishing all of the tasks, or not being able to fully give all of yourself to all of the people that are in your life. Maybe you are a person who likes to feel like you are helpful, you like to help other people, you like to be involved, and it feels at this moment like you can't, like there's not much or enough of you to be giving or to be spreading around amongst all of the things that you have to do, or amongst all of the people who are begging for some attention from you. And when we feel so overloaded, in a sense, our bodies, or for example, when we are giving too much, when our bodies are tired, when our mind is tired, or even our emotional body is tired, it reacts, our bodies react. So at this moment you might feel a little depleted, or you might feel like, man, I used to be so on task back then, I used to be so action oriented, I used to get everything done, but maybe at this time you're not able to do so. You feel like maybe it's not so easy to get out of bed. You're not feeling so jolly like you usually present yourself as, and that is making you feel down, because you don't understand why. You don't feel like you're complete or your whole self. But understand that when this happens, when there is a pause, it is not out of punishment, or it is not because you are not doing something right, but sometimes it is a way for our bodies to tell us that we need a break. It is a pause in order to rejuvenate, to recuperate, to heal. And I'm also seeing these waters as healing waters, because water is also used to cleanse energy and to heal. It's very healing. You might not really want to talk to people, or you don't feel motivated to do anything. Maybe I feel the Ten of Cups water also represents a very creative individual, because it's about intuition, right? It's being connected with that higher aspect of ourselves and getting information, being creative, and maybe there is this sense of a creative block. Okay, so the message that is coming through, because I did hear the words up and soar, I feel that at this moment, do not stress about not being able to get everything done. Take this moment for yourself. If there is a pause, do not force your body to do something that it's not ready to do. Even your mind. You do not have to give yourself to all of these people. It's like I'm seeing it as like kind of reclaiming your energy, because see, when the waterfall falls, it can give to all of these cups, because the waterfall is like eternal. It's always abundant, it's always falling, so it's never depleted. But in reverse, it feels like this waterfall is kind of drained, and it needs a moment for like the lakes or the source to fill up so it can again give out. So take this time for yourself. Take this time to recuperate, to rejuvenate. Listen to your body. We did get breathing here. Breathe. Take a moment to yourself. Sit down with yourself. Your body will give you a lot of information in terms of healing. Your body acts on instinct, just like that. It thinks before you do. It knows what's up. It gives you signs. So listen to your body. If it's asking for a break, if it's not being as productive as before, it's for a reason, because it just needs time to take a rest. It doesn't say that you're less than before. It's just a time of rest. I'm also getting that it's wonderful for you to want to help, to want to assist a lot of people, but also notice how much of yourself you're giving away. because it's like the message that we get when we fly on an airplane. For those of you who have not flown on an airplane, they always tell you for the security part of the flight, they ask that if in a situation where the masks, the air masks, the oxygen masks are needed, please always put the oxygen mask on yourself first before helping the person next to you. Now, this is not a selfish act. This is a selfless act, because if you are safe first, if you have enough oxygen first, and then you are able to not only help the person next to you, but you are able also to help a lot more people. You need to be healthy first. You need to be good within yourself first in order to provide for others. This waterfall needs to be abundant and ever flowing first before it can provide to these cups. So you need to take care of yourself. It's not a selfish act. It is a very selfless act. Okay? Now we will be looking at the other cards as clarifiers. And these are oracle cards. So the first card that came out is manifestation in reverse. We have goodness. Drifting in reverse. And we have vulnerability. Okay, so with the manifestation card, this is self-explanatory when upright. Manifestation speaks of manifesting. We have this beautiful innocent bunny here, and then we have these blobs here that I see as like, I'm seeing this bunny as being so innocent that he's barely creating and visualizing what it is that he wants. So that's why these things are presented as blobs, but soon they will become beautiful flowers. Okay, so we were speaking about how these waters can relate in terms of intuition and also in terms of creativity. Now, I was sensing this blockage. So waters also have relate to the heart, because again, it speaks of emotion and it speaks of intuition. I do feel like there is this blockage in terms of creativity. Now, creativity I equate it to imagination. And when we have this blockage in our imagination, then there can be a blockage in our manifestation, because imagination is a very important tool in order to manifest, because it's just envisioning, it's our thoughts, it's creating our world in our mind first with our feelings, and then creating it in our physical reality. And with this in being in reverse, I'm seeing that there is some trouble here in terms of that. Now again, it can be that because of this feeling of depletion, because of this feeling of maybe if you are emotionally depleted, when we are emotionally or energetically depleted, we want to close ourselves off, because our energetical or emotional body knows that it's like the battery is pretty low, and so they're like, we can't give any more of our energy away, because when we interact with other people, we exchange energy. And so most of the time we may be filling someone's empty cup without us really realizing, until we're feeling down, until we're feeling depleted. So our emotional bodies, when we feel like being reclusive, when we don't feel like talking to people, when we don't really want to be amongst a group or a crowd, it's because our emotional body is telling us we need time for isolation in order to recharge. Okay, so our bodies are wise, they know, and they mean well. Okay, sometimes, I know it sounds horrible, but sometimes even when we get sick, it's like it's a way for our body to force us to take a step back, because maybe we don't listen to our body, we get a headache, and we don't listen, we continue on working, we continue doing our everyday routines, and then our bodies are like, how do I get this person to sit down and take a breather for a while, to just sit down? And so that's when our bodies may get sick, and it forces us to really just, take a step back and take a rest. Now, I was also sensing creativity and flow, and I was talking about imagination. I got lost for a minute. I went to get like like a sweater because I'm sitting in front of the window this time, so it's getting a bit chilly. But let's see. There seems to be blockage in terms of manifestation, meaning that I feel like maybe some of you are too up in your head or overthinking about a situation too much. Maybe it all correlates. Maybe you might be in a situation where you're not able to put 100% of yourself in maybe a project, or if you're a parent or a family person in your family, and there's a lot going on and you just can't seem to fully fulfill your wishes or your desires at the moment, and you're just more in your head overthinking and thinking that maybe what you want, what you're asking for is too much because you can't deliver at this moment. Or maybe you have these dreams or these aspirations, something that feels like the 10 of Cups to you, that feels like too big of a wish. And because it's too big of a wish, you feel like you can't manifest it, like it can't come true, like it's something that you really need to work hard on, give all of your energy to, which I'm seeing this here, in order to make it come true. And I'm seeing that as being your blockage, because when we feel something is too big, then we create this energy of making it feel like it's something that it's big when it's not. Because the universe, in terms of energy, in terms of manifesting, it doesn't know. It's just energy. There's not anything that's bigger than anything else. If you put them on the scale, it's really like wishing for a candy for them is the same thing as wishing for a promotion in your job. Really, it's balanced. One is not bigger than the other. What makes a difference is how much worry you put into it. If you feel like it's something that is unreachable, then that's the energy you're going to put out there, the information you're going to put out there into the universe, and that creates your blockage. So I feel it's like saying, do not see this as something unobtainable or something that a lot needs to be put into it in order to obtain it, because all that it's doing, it's blocking it. Because look at this bunny. This bunny here is so innocent. It's like a child, right? A child, if you ask what it wants for his birthday, they're going to tell you, I want a unicorn. I want a roller coaster in the backyard. I want a Ferris wheel in my room. They don't know about impossible. There's no limitations for them. This is what I'm seeing with the bunny here. It's innocence, but in that innocence, there's limitlessness. There's that grand imagination. And for them, there's no blockage. And that's what it's asking you to be. You see, and I'm also seeing like you're not even allowing your dreams to fully envision them, because as soon as you do, you think it's too big, it's too good, like it's too much, like maybe you don't deserve it, maybe you think it's not fitting in your life, it's too grand for the life that you're living now. And they're telling you, let go of that, because look, the energy is here. The 10 of Cups is here. That is complete and utter abundance. That's the shebang right there. It's the full manifestation. It's in reverse right now because there is a blockage within the self. Okay, so let go of this idea that it's too big, too good to be true. Now with this goodness card here, I'm also going back, I'm seeing two messages here. I'm going back to that sense of health. It does, see how this person here is sitting down and meditating, and there's this image of self-reflection, of being with self, a time of solitude. But see how there's this inner light that's glowing outwards. It's the same message we were talking about the oxygen mask. Once you are healthy within, once you are full and whole in your own, I'm seeing this as a recharge, then you see how beautiful, how much light you emit outwards, then you become this waterfall again. So this is asking you, take that time for yourself. Now a lot of people, they say, time for the self is like treating the self, taking a spa, taking a bath. If that helps you, if that truly, it genuinely helps you, then go ahead and do it by all means. Whatever makes you feel at peace, whatever has you feeling calm and happy, back into your own, then please do that. If it's painting your nails, if it's exercising, if it's reading a book, if it's playing video games, if it's just taking a nap without any disturbances, then please do so. Whatever it is just taking time for the self. It's acknowledging the self. I'm seeing this as also, like I was saying before, self-reflection, meditation. If you are one to meditate and you stop doing that for a while, I think this is a message. Go back, take that moment for the self to meditate. Meditation is not only to receive answers. Meditation is just for a moment of inner peace and quietness. It's a moment to recharge. Please do so. I'm just seeing this as a battery flickering. It's saying recharge. That's what it's being asked of you at this moment. Once you fill up and recharge, call all of your energy back to you, then you can fully emit that light without straining yourself. It's going to be automatic. It's like a light bulb. When you change the light bulb, you just turn the switch on and then the light bulb emits light. Now, when I say call your energy back to you, we were talking about when we interact with other people, we exchange energy. Sometimes we leave our energy in situations and places with other people's or in thought forms. So whenever you can, sit down, stand, lay, ground yourself, whatever helps you ground, imagining you're a tree or you're rooting to earth, whatever helps you feel stable and grounded, do that. And then just set the intention of calling your energy back to you, calling it back from people, calling it back from situations, conversations, moments, thoughts, the past, and call it back to you and feel yourself being recharged with your own energy. Okay, you can do this in the mornings, you can do this before going to sleep, or you can do this whenever you feel like you need to recharge. But this is really the message of recharge. I know I said that word like several times, but I really think that's the message that wants to come through here. And with the drifting card in reverse and the vulnerability card here, drifting and vulnerability are speaking to me of just emotions and intuitions. It's going with the flow, it's being open, it's surrendering. We have a lot of water here, a lot in terms to emotions. Even the manifestation reminds me of intuition, reminds me of water. So again, it feels like maybe you've been too much in your head. Maybe if you are in a resting state, or you're in a moment where you feel that you're being forced to take a step back to rest, do not spend it being too much in your head. And if it is a moment of thinking, it is a moment of introspection. So just allow your thoughts to be. Do not get hooked on a single thought. Allow things to flow and allow your mind to fully open. Allow yourself to create a world, to envision what you want. If this is the time to maybe reconstruct a plan, to maybe see a business situation differently, to maybe even like think of how you might want to redecorate your home, or how you want to go things about it differently in your relationships, then do so. Plan it out, and don't think that something is too big for you or that it's too grand for you to be in your life. If you truly want it and desire it, do not limit yourself, because that's the only blockage, that's the only limitation. It's your own limiting beliefs. As soon as you remove that, this waterfall can flow freely. This canoe can drift. The waters, I see them as universe leading you. It's the natural flow. This canoe can drift in the right direction. And you see how effortless it is? We don't even have the, what do you call them? The sticks, the canoe pads, because you don't need to work for it. The universe will take you exactly where you need to be in order to, it even looks like a waterfall here, like to fall into this waterfall. And vulnerability, this is just saying be open. Be open, be honest with yourself, open to your heart. There's something that your heart truly desires, is this 10 of Cups. Let your heart want it. Open your heart to it. Imagine it. Invest yourself in what you want. It'll be okay. Look at all these beautiful cards here. All of the energy is here. It's just upside down because at this moment you're limiting it. But look, the energy is here. This can be turned upright whenever you just let it be. Okay, so now I'm going to be pulling one card, and this is a direct message from Spirit to you. We have 10, I believe this is the 10 of Pentacles, number 8, the sky. Now I don't read it by what it says here, I read it intuitively. Now when I look at the sky, it doesn't mean like death, actual death. I'm just seeing it as cutting off of things that no longer serve you, cutting off of weeds that are preventing your garden from growing fruitfully and beautifully. So there is like 2 messages here. So again, if there are a lot of people or relationships around you that are taking a lot from you, that every time you interact with them it's just taking and taking and taking from you, then maybe it's time to cut away with those relationships. If you cannot cut away with those relationships, then it's maybe detach yourself a bit from it. Do not invest all of yourself in that. Take a time for yourself to recharge. Take those moments of the day to be with yourself, to meditate, to contemplate, for introspection, to just simply recharge. You need that. You need that like a phone needs time to charge. You also need that time to plug into your higher self, to plug into source, and to recharge. I'm seeing this as also like cutting away with like the everyday stress or the everyday routine. Also, if it's a lot of projects, if you have a lot going on, if your agenda is booked for the day, then maybe it's time to cut away with some of those things. Rearrange that agenda so you have time on the day for yourself. Time in the day where you're just relaxing. I'm seeing this need to relax because we have vulnerability, we have drifting. Drifting reminds me a lot of relaxing. And even this bunny here, we have all this in reverse. There seems to be a bit of stress here. It seems like if you're not working, if you're not in action, it's stressful for you. You don't feel competent. And that's not the truth. That's not the truth. You're 100% yourself, even when you're not involving yourself with other people, even when you're not doing things. You are still important. You are still competent. You are still enough. Okay? Because remember, what's important is that light that's shining within you, and you just emanate that effortlessly when you just are. Okay, so I'm going to pull out one last card, and this is an oracle card, and I pulled this card just to give me like the general energy of you guys, of like what it feels like, what your energy you will feel once you heal, once you allow yourself to be and to release. And this one was quite beautiful because we have the whale. Now we had it came out in reverse, and I don't take these oracle cards in reverse, but I felt like doing so for this reading. And in reverse again, it's water energy here with the whale. This is the water element, and it's funny how we had it with the air element because those are opposing elements. So it seems like there's a lot of mental energy here, and it might be that your essence actually flows with water. It's just going with the flow, is just being. That might be a lesson that you might have to live in this lifetime, is actually going with the flow and just being. And this is the whale is very nurturing. It's I'm seeing it like very tranquil. Just hearing the whale sing is just this very beautiful and like meditative sound. And look at all these beautiful colors. We have yellows and the blues here, indigo. It's very spiritual. I do believe a lot of you actually meditate or do some form of spiritual practice, and you haven't done so for a while, and I think they're asking you to maybe go back to that, to exercise that again, because it was really helping you. And I'm seeing a lot of nurturing energy here. It's like a part of you to just give, to be nurturing. But like I mentioned again previously, in order to be able to give to others fully, you need to be abundant. You need to be full. The cup needs to be full in order to overflow. So always take care of yourself first. yourself first. You are the priority. This whale needs to feed itself. Needs to feed itself first in order to live, in order to provide such beauty, such wonder in this world. Okay, it's a very soothing and relaxing energy. Okay, there's a message here in the back of the card. Whale, Numa. Whale exemplifies the life-giving spirit within us. With a blast from her blowhole and a splash from her body, we are reminded of the greatness surrounding us. Thanks to Whale's graceful grandeur, we are able to ride upon her back as we journey to find meanings well outside of our human understanding. In all of her presence, we are guided to travel inward. In contemplation, as we dive towards the depths, she gently nudges us to explore our creative spirit and essentia. Yes, it's time to take this time of rest to explore that creative side of you. Go big, and go home at the same time. Going big allows you to go home, to go back to that home place that you've been craving for. The Ten of Cups is here for you. Do not block yourself from it by limiting yourself and believing that it's too big for you to have it, because it's not. It's not. Just believe in it, okay? So now let us pull messages. This card is very beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. Let's pull messages from our box over here. So these will be direct messages from Spirit. Okay? Let's do this. Let's do a little treat for you guys. So we are going to ask our pendulum. And the first one, I want you to ask a question. Whatever question you have. And we're going to get an answer for you guys, okay? And the second time, we're going to get that direct message from your spirit guides or from source, okay? So, pendulum, can you please show us what a yes looks like? As you can see, a yes is a circular motion. Can you please show us what a no looks like? Okay, as you can see, it's a back and forth or side-to-side motion. Okay, first messages. Answers to those who chose group number 1. We have a yes. Oh, I zoned out for a bit. Put it here. No. No. I am sitting on the floor this time because I'm in front of the window. And it's a bit difficult, you guys. I'm crouching over. Messages for group 1, please. No. Messages for group 1. Messages. Answers to group 1's questions. Okay, so we only have one, so let's look at what the message is for you guys. Yes. Don't give up. I know this was a message for your questions, but I will take this also for the reading. Don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. It's not too big. Don't give up on it, okay? Don't give up, guys. Okay, so that's the first message. Now we're going to get a direct message from Spirit, a healing message. Something that Spirit wants for you to hear at this moment. Direct message from Spirit for group number 1. Okay, we have 1. Message from Spirit for group. Direct message from Spirit for group number 1. Message from Spirit for group number 1. 1. Okay. Direct message from Spirit for group number 1. Direct message from Spirit for group number 1, please. Okay. Ooh, so many messages. Okay, so we have 3 messages for you guys. Let's mix them up. Showtime. Showtime. It is time for you guys to dream big and go home. Dream big and go home. Go to that place that you've been wanting to go to. When I say home, it's like that abundance. What you guys been dreaming or wanting. It's showtime. It's also, if you've been feeling creatively blocked, do not worry. It's gonna just recharge and you'll be back to that creative you. It's gonna be showtime to show your creativity all over again. Ooh, I will wait for you. Okay. And the next message that we have is the greatest illusion of this world is the illusion of separation. This is from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Okay, so we have like 2 kind of romantic messages here. So water has to do with the heart. So if what you been wanting to manifest is a relationship, and you think this person or this relationship is too good to be true, too good for you, they're telling you it's not. Okay. Okay, so that's all the messages I have for you, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it helped, brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, please like, comment, and if you want to stick around for more readings, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information for that is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment. Hello, seekers who chose group number 2, Earth. Okay, so first I will begin with an intuitive message. So the messages I heard when connecting with the energy of this group were of now and new direction. I actually saw like this light as if I was going forward, and then I made this complete turn, like a 90-degree turn. So it feels like a new direction. The word misdirection also came to mind, but we're gonna look more into that with the cards. So I will first be pulling an oracle card, and this will act as your healing medicine. I will read the messages for you. Please look at the image. There are 3 small messages in this oracle card. If there's only one that calls your attention, then take that one message. If all of them, then take all of the messages. And I want you to sit with these messages, see what comes up. What's the first thing you think about? What's the first message that comes in intuitively? This is to practice your intuition, and also to let you know that you yourself can heal yourself, that you yourself can find the answers within. Okay? And I will not be giving any interpretation to this card. You guys are going to do that. Okay? So here's the card. And this is Gilbert and George. So these are the artists of this card. So the message is, be the art you wish to see in the world. Your work should not be selfish. Dress the part. Okay? So that's what we have over here. Let's put this oracle card over here. And now we're going to be pulling a tarot card. And this tarot card is to give us the general energy. What needs healing at this moment? What is the guidance? Okay, so I asked for 1 card, but 2 cards fell out, so I took them. And the first card is 9 of Vessels, Generosity. And the second card is 10 of Arrows, Direction. Okay. Okay, so group number 2, you chose Earth. So the element of Earth is a very grounding element. It speaks of putting things into work, bringing things into the physical reality. I also see it as connecting with a lot of people, because I'm just imagining a tree, and trees, they root deep in the soil, and there's actually been studies where it shows that trees actually communicate with each other through their roots. They actually help each other along the journey of life, along the journey of growth, even if they are from different species. So I'm seeing this as connection, and I'm talking about trees and connection because I'm looking at this 9 of Vessels here. Now, the 9 of Vessels is the 9 of Cups in the traditional tarot, but this card has a very different and special meaning. Look at how this man is meditating, and look how he has this one cup, this one vessel here with him, and there's all of these other cups around him. Now, like I've said in my other videos, cups to me, I always see them as bodies, as people, because like cups hold water or liquid, our bodies hold our energy, our essence. So they are very much like cups, they are very much like vessels. So I'm seeing here as this form of giving and receiving, this form of connection, connecting with other people, and this form of giving and receiving an energy. See how he's giving out, and at the same time these cups are giving back to him. Now when I look at the 9 of Vessel, I'm also reminded a lot of the law of attraction, right? What you put out there, you receive. But here I'm seeing it genuinely as connecting with other people. Now, 9 of Vessels, water is a very healing element. It helps cleanse, and I also see it as a great tool for manifesting. It may resonate for some of you who chose group number 2, that you are healers, that you have, I believe everybody has the ability to heal, but it's like a talent, right? And like Ratatouille, the message in Ratatouille, it says anybody can cook, right? But some of us are born more instinctively with that talent. Others need practice, right? So I feel that those who've chosen this group, the talent of healing, it comes innate in you. Like you don't need that much practice in order for you to be able to heal at a very capable level. I'm seeing that maybe some of you who chose this group maybe are Reiki healers or just energy healers, or just maybe you do tarot readings or counseling, or nurses, or doctors, even like creating art. It like your creations, what you create brings healing to people. And I'm seeing here that I feel that is what you're being guided towards, because with the 10 of Arrows, we do have the word instruction here. Now when I look at this card, I always see this man here as spirit, as your spirit guide, helping you, instructing you in how to manifest your dreams, or to guide you down your path, to fulfill your mission, or to help you fulfill your purpose. And what I mean by purpose, it is whatever you're being called to do at this moment. So I do feel that there's this energy of healing, of connecting with a lot of people and helping these people. Now, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be like in the spiritual arts, the esoteric, or even like medical. It can be in arts as well. Creating an art can be in like makeup, doing makeup for other people, or cutting hair, or massaging, anything of the sort that helps other people. I feel that that's what you're being called to do at this moment. Like that's what you're being guided to. And I'm also becoming aware of the numbers 9 and 10, this procession of numbers. Like I'm seeing this journey, like they're leading you down this path. I don't know if recently you felt like you've been open to like if you have been following like a spiritual journey, if you've just been awoken to like this new spiritual talent of yours, this new spiritual ability, or you just learned Reiki, and now it's like the next step leading you to the next step. But what I'm sensing here is there's this message of also becoming aware of a balance, right? Because we were talking about this giving and receiving, but it's becoming aware of how much energy you're putting out there and what energy you're putting out there, right? And whether what you're receiving in return is equivalent to what you've been putting out there. Okay? And I think that's like the next step in your journey into becoming aware, because it's all dandy when we're like, oh, I want to do tarot readings, I want to heal people, I want to help. That's great, but we sometimes forget that we are the main vessel that's helping, right? It's the energy that comes from us is what we're putting out there. So sometimes we forget to nurture ourselves. We're too busy trying to help other people to fill these cups that we forget to fill our own cup, to nurture ourselves, to see, like, you see how this man is closing his eyes, he's meditating, he's tranquil, he's on a mission to fill all these cups to help all of these people. But sometimes we also need to become aware of what is it that is in our own vessel? What energy is in our own vessel? Because that's the energy that you're putting out there. So become aware of that. Okay, but I'm going to move into the clarifiers just to get more information. The first oracle card that came out is Night, Storm. What does this say? Unfamiliar territory. And Joy. Okay, so I'm seeing that a lot of you at this moment might be being called to step forward, to come forward. Maybe in the past you've been spending all that time in healing yourself, meditating, being in solitude, being in introspection, developing your craft, developing your skill, be it spiritual and esoteric, be it in the arts, be it in the medical field, and whatever it may be. But now it's the time to really step onto the stage, step into the spotlight, and really put what you've learned out there. It's like I'm actually seeing that next step, like that's what they're pulling you towards. And it feels like the next step, I feel that most of you already know what it is. And if that next step feels a bit too big or too daunting, and I'm seeing this feeling of fear, of wanting to run away, because we do have the Night card, and we're just seeing the back of this bird taking flight in the night where not anyone else can see it, right? And we also have the Storm card here, which is also this feeling of the night, of darkness. So I feel this is kind of the turmoil that's happening in the mind or within this storm, like this realization. It's kind of that feeling when you're in college and then you graduate college, and it's all dandy. You're in college, you're learning, you're studying, you're becoming knowledgeable, and then graduation hits, and then you're like, oh man, now I have to go out into the world. Now I have to actually put what I learned into practice. Now I have to actually be that doctor, help people, assist, and it scares you. Like, that's when the storm hits, lightning hits. It's like this reality comes in, and it scares you. And it's like when you hear that storm, when you hear that thunder, right? The bird simply takes flight, leaves. And I'm getting this energy because we also have the unfamiliar territory here. We have the image of the fish out of water. So I'm getting the sensation of introvertness here. A lot of those who've chosen this pile might be introverts. They might not actually love to socialize or to, be in a group of people or to connect with other people, which I am seeing the energy here of connecting with a lot of people. And doing so, going out, connecting with others, feels like you're that fish out of water because it's taking you out of your comfort zone. Right? You're no longer in that solitude stage anymore. Now it's time for you to move forward. Now we see the kid here as the apprentice, and it seems like now it's time for you to go on your own. And that is scary for you. That is like taking you out of your familiar territory. But Spirit wants you to know it'll be okay. You'll be okay. This feeling of fear, of anxiety, it comes with the change. It comes with the change naturally. It's like the thunder that comes with the storm, that comes with the lightning. But remember that after a storm comes the sun, which we have here in the joy card. After the storm comes the sun. And we do see like these clouds that have drifted away. They've moved away to make opening for the sun. And look at this person here who's leaping in joy, and see how he's holding this stick. I always say that this reminds me of the magician. Is that having that power within yourself, is realizing your worth, realizing the power, realizing your abilities. You have a very special ability. You have a very special talent. See how this person is holding that stick? It's like the magic wand. Carry it. Be proud of it. This is your talent. You practiced it. You worked for it. Now it's time for you to use it. Now it's time for you to wave that magic wand. Now it's time for you to finally shoot the arrow to your target, to the next part of your journey. When we feel that like nervousness or that anxiety or that fear, please don't take it as a message that maybe you're not ready, that you're not ready to take that big next step, that this feeling of it being in unfamiliar territory is a sign that it's not for you, because that feeling is a normal reaction. It's not a response to or confirmation to be unworthy of it. It's just a normal reaction to change. We feel that excitement. We feel that something is waiting just around the bend. We feel that there's a turn coming in. We feel that something is going to change in our lives. But they want, with this card here, ending here, they want to confirm to you that all will be well. All will be well. All will be perfect. And you will feel so much in your power and in your essence when you do so. I'm also seeing this as spotlight. It's like once you allow yourself to come out of your comfort zone, once you allow yourself exposure. I'm also seeing this as exposure, because if the fish was here in the water, it will be part of the pool of fishes. We wouldn't notice it. It wouldn't stand out from that pool of fishes. But as soon as it jumps out, then we notice it, we see it, and it's the only thing we see. It's in the spotlight. So they're telling you, you will be in the spotlight, and it won't be something negative. See how we come from this night, from this storm, into this sun energy here. This is also, the sun speaks of, sorry, helicopter. The sun speaks of creativity, speaks of passion. It reminds me of divine masculine energy, which is working for things, but it's bringing things into fruition, into the physical, into the 3D. It's putting your own hand in a situation to make it real. And that's what I'm seeing here. Remember, you are the magician, but you need to take that leap of faith. You need to jump out of the water. Yeah, give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance, because this is part of your journey. This is part of your path. If you're asking for the next step, that's the big next step. It's getting out of that comfort zone. They've been preparing you, and it seems like you've been listening. It seems like you've been doing well, but it seems like at this point that they're like, okay, now it's time for you to get out there. Now it's time for you to put your work, your art out there. Now it's time for you to actually go and help people, to put your practice, your skill into practice. You're like, oh man, no, I'm not listening. No, I'm running away from that. Hell no. And it got you scared, because it seems like you really have something to offer. You really have something to offer here. There's a talent that you have, a skill that you have, some quality innate in you that really can help a lot of people and can help them open up to their own abilities. But believe in yourself, believe in that. It will be such a waste if you just keep this, like, it just reminding me of the Four of Pentacles all of a sudden. It's like holding on to that one coin or to those 4 coins. It's like holding on to this vessel, covering it, and not letting anybody see in it, not letting anybody take from it, because then energy is meant to flow, it's meant to fluctuate, and you not allowing that can also block you, can keep you from moving forward. And you will maybe you feel that, maybe you feel like why aren't things changing? Why don't I feel like I'm evolving more? Everything was going great before, but now I feel like stuck. And they're telling you, because you're preventing yourself from taking that next step. It's time to grow, it's time to move on forward, it's time to what do you call them, like, take the training wheels off your bicycle and you go off on your own. Oh, it's reminded me, we were helping my sister, who's 20-something years old, by the way, ride a skateboard today. And she was so scared, she was holding on to us, and we just told her, you need to let go. You need to go at it right now, or you'll always be scared. And then she finally did, and now she can finally ride on the skateboard by herself. So it's that feeling, let yourself just go for it, try. At one point they're not gonna look, you can see he's not even really holding his elbow here, so at one point they're gonna not even help you or assist you, because you will be capable of doing it on your own, shooting that arrow. So the next cards are direct messages from Spirit. And again, I asked for 1 card, but they pulled 2, so I'm taking them. We have the Sun card here. The Sun card, and this is the 3 of Cups, and the 3 of Cups in this deck is the Joy card. It's celebrating. It also speaks of connection, finding like-minded individuals, finding your soul family, your soul tribe, your soul group. Is bringing something to the table. Is you, whatever you possess, whatever talent, whatever knowledge, whatever wisdom you acquire, is bringing it to the table. It's going to be different from other people, but that's the point of it. If your art or what you do is different from other people, and that's what's keeping you from presenting it to the world because you feel it's not going to be taken well, the difference is what counts in this world. Imagine if what we put out there, everything was the same. What would be the point? What would be the point of change and evolvement? There wouldn't be any. There has to be someone who does something different, who brings something different to the table for it to inspire somebody else to do something different as well, for the wheel to keep turning. So if you feel different, it's not a bad thing. If you've always felt like this fish out of water, it's not a bad thing. It's because maybe you're that strange fish who actually has wings and you were meant to fly. Maybe you can breathe out of water, but you've never allowed yourself that opportunity to explore because you've been scared of being seen. But it's time to be seen. It's time to put yourself out there, and the world will be mesmerized by you. And remember, even if they have negative reactions to it, it's because you're causing a reaction in them. You're causing a reaction in them. You're awakening something in them. And I'm seeing this with the sun. It's like awakening, bringing something to light. It's like the clouds were blocking the sun, and then you come here, you leap in faith, and then you kind of like move the clouds away for something to be seen. So it's causing a reaction. You will cause reactions. It feels like you will like open the lid to these cups so that they can become aware of themselves. And man, Spirit is funny. The next card that we have is the fish, and this is the 4 of Cups. Okay, now the 4 of Cups in the traditional tarot and in this tarot, it's like when the universe is presenting you 1 cup, and it's the cup to move forward, and you're too busy looking at the old three cups, and you're asking, when am I gonna get what I want? What I've gotten so far isn't what I want. When am I gonna get what I want? And they're like, well, it's because what you want is out there. It's out there. You see, it's not even in frame here because you have to go out. You have to get out of the lake, of the river, in order to see. It's like this fish had to take that leap and jump in order to see that what he wanted was somewhere on these mountains. And I'm seeing that as well here, like the fish has been in this water. See how he's also peeking out? It's time to peek out of the waters. It's time, because you've been feeling different. You've been feeling like you don't belong where you are, because maybe that's not where you belong. You belong in the skies. You belong, yeah, maybe you're meant to fly, but you've got to believe it. And the sun is here, and the sun is positivity. The sun is joy. The sun is success. The sun is that spotlight. The sun is growth. It's creativity. It's passion. It's beautiful here. Yeah, and then we have 7 and 1, and that's the number 8. And 8 I always relate it to like working, skill, also like money, abundance, and that term is also a number of meditation. So I do see abundance here for you. Whatever abundance is for you, that's what you will be obtaining. Yeah, so be selfless with your art. Put it out there. It will impact a lot of people. It will help them. For all of those who have also been feeling like that fish out of water, it will help them realize that they're not alone. This is kind of beautiful. Yeah, your healing medicine is to go out there, to trust yourself, to not be afraid, and to know that that fear, that nervousness, it's okay. It's no confirmation telling you that you're not worthy of it. No, it's kind of like telling you, oh man, it's like your body is telling you, we're ready, we're excited for that next change, let's do it, let's go for it, we can't wait. It's like that adrenaline rush. So turn it into something positive. And it's like that fish, imagine like that fish all of a sudden got like that rush, and it was like flopping around in the water, and it's like I feel something is coming. I feel I need to do something differently, and then it allows itself to just do what it needs to, and it leaps out of the water. And that's when realization hits. That's when the spotlight comes in. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Now I pulled 2 oracle cards, and I was just asking for your general energy, for the general energy of this group, representing this group. So it's like, once you allow this healing, how will your energy look? What your essence will look like? We have Scorpio, and we have the elephant. This is beautiful. This is very empowering. The Scorpio energy speaks of transformation. It speaks of death, but death is about transformation. It's about an old you dying out, so a new you can be reborn. Is for an old cycle to die out, for a new one to be born. And we do have this cycle dying out here. 9, 10. 10 is the last number. It's that closing of a cycle for a new one to begin. And they're telling you it's time. It's time. With this Scorpio energy, it's time for that new cycle to begin. And this is part of your journey. And that's why we have this like big energy here of anxieties and fears, because it feels like that. It's this feeling of transformation here. And with the elephant is a keystone animal. It's a keystone species, meaning it is a very important species, because of this species, it creates change in the environment. The environment can succeed. Now, I know that the elephants, with their tusks, they like upturn the soil. They upturn the soil, and what that helps is for like new plants to grow. For like seeds to be rooted, for new trees, for new plants to grow. So they kind of regenerate the soil and the environment, in which other species create their homes and exist, right? So because of the elephant, then like nature can keep on flowing, can keep on giving, can keep on growing. So it creates the ending of a cycle, and they allow for a new cycle to begin. This is very empowering. I'm telling you, whatever it is that is your skill will help a lot of people, will cause this death, this transformation in them. Again, if you get reactions that are not so positive, they are still reactions. It's because you're opening something in these people. You're causing a transformation. It's like an awakening for them. And when we react kind of like harshly or negatively, it's because we feel that death. It's like you may be feeling at this moment. We feel scared because there's a change that is occurring, right? So you're causing this change, right? And I feel the Scorpio energy feels very intense, but the elephant, it's a very soothing. We have all this green here, which reminds me of the heart chakra. It's being heart-centered, heart-based. We're going back to the beginning of this message. Remember what I said. When you're helping other people, remember the energy that you're putting out there, right? So always take care of yourself. Look within yourself. Find that solitude to go within the self for introspection. Always clean your own vessel so that whatever is flowing within, when it flows outwards, it will also be clean. Always do what you do from the heart, of the space of compassion and love, in order for what you receive to be also of compassion and love. Okay? That's why I'm being pulled to this message here. Be the art you wish to see in the world. Your work should not be selfish. Dress the part. That's a very important message. Very, very important. Okay? So I will be reading these messages. Scorpion protection. Preferring the cold, dark of night, Scorpion represents the guardian of protection. A fiercely resourceful and observant creature, she is able to adapt to any environment. Often found living independent, she is willing to carry her fair share of responsibility. Scorpion is analytical and clear-headed. She brings cutting logic to any conversation, harboring a strong voice that carries causes. Under her protection, safety is achievable, even the presence of vulnerability. So this is also of speaking of protecting your energy. So that's why it's very important to go within the self, to find that introspection, to clear your own energy, to not pay so much attention to the comments, and to always remember to be doing what you do in a space of love, in a space of compassion, because we are all working for each other in this world. We are all working for each other because we are all one. I know we all say that we are all connected, we are all one, and we don't truly understand it. We don't. But in essence, in reality, we are all connected. Like we are those trees. We are all rooted and connected deep, deep, deep in the soil. So what you put out there, that's why we feel it. That's why it eventually comes back to us. It's not a way of karma. It's just because we are connected to other people. So what they feel, we feel. What we feel, they will feel. We're a keystone species, just like the elephant. Now the elephant message. Elephant, gentleness. This enormously affable creature is filled with sincerity. Elephant is present when life hits us hard. Her size and brute force teach us about durability and fortitude. In juxtaposition, she guides us with gentle compassion and empathy. When relationships turn confusing and assumptions become frequent, she shines the light on the truth. Dedicated to partnership, she reminds us that mindful support coupled with authentic connection can enhance our outcomes. This message is very important as well here. Okay? Yes, so partnerships is essential to what you will be doing. So it's time to get out of that comfort zone. So now we'll be pulling messages from the treasure box. Okay, so these are messages for group number 2. Okay, can let them up. I have some that fell down here. Okay, So to make it a little fun for you guys, if you have a specific question or you want to get a message from a specific someone, from your guide, or just someone in specific, now is the time to do so. Ask it, think of that person, and we're going to be asking the pendulum to choose a message for us. Now, please, pendulum, can you show us what a yes looks like? As you can see, it's a circular motion. Now, pendulum, can you show us what a no looks like? As you can see, it's back and forth, side to side motion. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Answering questions or generating inquiries for group number 2. That's a no. That's a no here. No. Messages for group number 1 in terms of general inquiries. Specific message. We have 1. No. No. Oops. Sorry. That's yes. And no. No. Oops. And no. Okay, so we have 2 messages for you guys. Let's see. Oh my god, I feel these readings are going to be so long. Okay, it says, when you miss me, close your eyes and simply feel. There is where you will find me. Okay, that's one message. Second message. It is in silence that listening occurs. Okay, those are the 2 messages for general inquiries. Now we're going to get a specific message from Spirit for you guys. Healing messages, or just message Spirit wants you to hear at this moment for group number 2. For all of those who have connected with group number 2. Okay, we have a yes. Messages from Spirit. No. No. Oh, sorry. Nope. And oh, that was a yes, yes. Okay, so these 2 messages. Let's look at the first one. I'm in a new setting, so I'm sitting down on the floor and I'm crouching over. It's a bit uncomfortable. Let's see. B. Don't try to become. Osho. Exactly. Be yourself. Be your authentic, genuine self. Because that's where you shine. You were meant to be, not like everyone else. And no one is like everyone else. We are all unique in our own ways. It's just not all of us allow ourselves to express our authenticity. And the next message is, I promise. I promise. Okay, so those are the 2 messages for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity, some healing. If you like this reading, if it resonated with you, then please do like or comment. And if you want to stick around for more readings, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for joining me, and until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello seekers who chose group number 3, the element of water. So I will begin with an intuitive message. What the messages I heard when connecting with the energy of this group were go, 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 go. And also seeing a lot of geometric shapes. And I heard the message in here now. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Now let us look at the cards. So I will pull one oracle card for you guys. So I've pulled one oracle card for you guys. Now this oracle card, I will not be giving any interpretation to it. I will simply read the message to you, and I want you to sit with the messages. There are 3 short messages here. If there is only one that calls your attention, then please take note of that. See what comes up. What are the first thoughts that come up? What are the emotions? What do you feel? This is a healing medicine card for you. This is to let you know that you also have the ability to heal yourself. You also have the answers within you. If you just listen to your intuition, listen to that inner knowing. Okay, so the card for you guys is Aj Weiwei. So this is the name of the artist, and I hope I'm pronouncing these names right, but I don't think so. The message here is, when authority says to be quiet, get a loudspeaker. Art must fight for freedom, or the whole world is a prison. Some things are whole only when they shatter. Okay, so that is the message for you guys. So now I will be looking at the cards. So the first card I pulled is a tarot card, and this was to get the general energy for this group. What needs healing, or what is the guidance for this group? And the card that we have is the Guardian in reverse. Okay, so the Guardian in the traditional card is the Devil. The Guardian here, the Devil in this deck, usually represents something different. I actually really love the interpretation of this card in this deck. So let me put it for you upright. The Guardian upright, what it speaks of is confronting your innermost fears, is going to that deep part of you and seeing what you perceive as your darkness face to face. It's like pulling those skeletons out of the closet. And this skeleton here is the skeleton of a bear. Now, we do have 2 bears in this deck, but right now the first one I thought of was the Judgment. In the Judgment card, we have this polar bear. Now, the Judgment card in this deck speaks of awakenings, speaks of allowing yourself to die, in a sense, in order to be reborn again, in order to be awakened. So we see this tunnel here, right? And it seems like you're at the entrance of the tunnel. You need to pass this tunnel to get to the other side. So it's like you need to face your fears, face that subconscious. When I speak of subconscious, we usually hide traumas, fears, or things we do not want to confront at the moment in our subconscious. It's like the basement or the closet, right? Where we just throw everything there at the last minute, things we don't want to see or want other to see when they come and visit our house or our home, right? We just throw it in there until it gets cluttered, until it gets full, until it's screaming and begging us to clear out that space. And I feel that's what's happening at this moment. There is this calling to clean out your clutter, clean out your space. Now, this could be emotionally, this could be mental, this could be in your life. Now, usually when people think of the subconscious, people look at the devil, they think of addictions, they think of the most horrible scenario. And when we look at that dark, or what do they call it, that shadow side, it's like we want to prevent it. We want to reject that part of ourselves. But remember the yin and the yang. Remember the night and the day. It's a balance. In energy, there is no like actual bad thing or good thing. It's just a polar opposite of energy. It's the negative and the positive. That positive sign and that negative sign in the battery. It creates a balance in order for energy to flow. So rejecting a part of yourself because you perceive it as bad, as dark, it's creating imbalance on yourself. Now, when I speak of confronting something, realize how I mentioned balance. You need balance, right? If you're like, okay, what if we are talking of an addiction and I accept it and I go with the addiction, right? That's not what I'm going at, because remember, I'm speaking of balance. If we give much to one thing, right? If we consume much of one thing, then it creates an imbalance, right? Then it's rejecting that light in order to give to the darkness. And that's not the point here. The point is to create balance within the self, is to create health within the mind, within the spirit, within the heart, within the body. At this moment, it feels like there is this need to go within the self, or to face your innermost truths, your innermost fears, to face what most of us, the spiritual community, speaks of, the shadow side. So I'm not labeling it right now as an addiction or as a certain thing. You guys know yourselves. You know what it is to you specifically, right? So it's confronting that. It's putting it forward. It's in reverse here. I don't think it's because you don't know it. It's in reverse because it's like you don't want to confront it. It keeps coming up in your life. It might be coming up in forms of triggers, like people might be repeating the same thing. It might be a past trauma. It might be something that happened long ago that you want to forget. But people keep talking about similar scenarios. They keep bringing in a certain trigger word, or you keep seeing an image somewhere, or just something that brings this up, and you keep pushing it and pushing it down, and it might be making you physically ill, physically sick, or you might be getting tempted, right, over and over again. And you're like, well, I'm trying to get better, but why is this coming up? It's because maybe you really need to confront it face to face. Avoiding a situation is not going to help. Avoiding the closet that's full of junk is not going to clear that space out. That closet is still going to be filled with junk that you need to clean out one moment, one day or the other. So at this moment is telling you, for healing to occur, for deep healing to occur, there must be a face-to-face with this, whatever this is, for you to continue onwards, for you to finally come out of that dark tunnel and push and move on forward. And know that it's not actually, it seems scary. Man, I know it's scary, but once you're walking through that tunnel, once you start seeing that light and you get to the other side, but once you're in there, you start realizing that this phase of the confrontation wasn't as bad as we thought it was. It wasn't. You will be able to look back and be like, okay. And this is speaking of resilience. Now we have the number 1 here. That is new beginnings. We have the number 5. That is change. That is dramatic change. Number 5 speaks to transformations. New beginnings and transformation is awaiting you. Do not resist it. Do not hold yourself back. I'm being called back to the message here, though. I'm seeing the word freedom and prison. Don't be imprisoned by this. It's like because your fear of this, it's keeping you in this space at the beginning of the tunnel, and it feels like you can't move forward. You can't go back anymore. The only way is forward. And if you can't because you think this is too scary, or you think you're not able or capable to move on forward from this, they're telling you that's a lie. Because what's that saying? Says God doesn't give you what you can't handle. And it's true, because in a sense, if you don't believe in God, but like you believe in universe, or you believe that in yourself, right, in your own manifestation, you wouldn't give yourself what you wouldn't be able to handle, because you know yourself. Your higher self knows you. So whatever you're presented to, whatever your higher self is presenting to you in this lifetime, it's what you can handle. They know you have the tools. They know you have the resilience to move on forward. Okay, so now let's get clarifications. We have wellness. We have strength. We have death. We have direction. A lot of cards fell out for this group. And we have hope. Damn. It makes me feel like crying. I don't know why. Okay, look. This is kind of a story for you. And it's quite beautiful. We begin with wildness, which would be kind of this devil upright. If it is an addiction, now addictions come in many forms. It doesn't have to be just drugs. It could also be addiction to food. It could be addiction to sabotaging yourself, addiction to staying in relationships that cause harm, or addiction to drama. Addiction comes in many, many, many forms. And that's what I'm seeing here with the wildness. It's like allowing that wild part of you to come out, right? Sometimes, sometimes I see like addictions manifest because we have so much energy in us, and we put all of that energy in one thing. We become so hyper aware of that one thing that brings us instant pleasure in the moment, right? Because we get a validation, or we get a response or a reaction quickly that stimulates us and keeps the wheel turning like this really, really, really fast, because we have so much energy pent up in us. And it's like this, setting that savage part in us completely free. But it's like, rather, it's that wild part in us, setting it and letting it be savage. So it's like, if you have so much of this energy directed, we have direction here, directed to somewhere productive, to something that helps, that's beneficial to you, that helps you move forward. Because when we direct it to something that just gives us instant pleasure, it's like that mouse in the spinning wheel. It's that rat in the wheel. You're spinning in the same place. You're not actually moving forward. You're just spinning in the same place, and you're just getting tired, and then getting regenerated in a way, and just spinning in the same place. And it's like getting old there, in the same spot. And instead, when you move it in a direction that's productive, that gives back to you, that brings health to you, that brings mental health to you, that keeps you stable, you see how these rocks are stacked one on the other? It helps you move forward. It's like putting that energy in accomplishing a dream, a project, something that allows for your creativity to spark, whatever that may be. And then that allows you to actually move forward. Now you're moving in a direction. You're not just spinning in the same wheel. You're not on a treadmill anymore. And the wellness also speaks of letting that wild part of yourself free. Not rejecting your shadow side. It's becoming aware of it, confronting it, and being like, okay, this is a part of me. Like, I get easily attached to things, or I like to eat, I like food. It's accepting that part of you. I am a sensual being. It's accepting that part of you, but being like, how can I ground myself? How can I balance this out in my everyday life so I won't be stuck in this one thing? And if it's an addiction that's detrimental, it's telling you here, strength. With the strength card, I'm just seeing resilience here. If you think you can't move forward, or you won't be able to see the other end of that tunnel, the light at the end of their tunnel, they're telling you, you have the strength to do so. You have the strength to do so. When I look at the line, I'm also reminded of the magician, because I see this infinity symbol here, which the magician also has. So it's like infinite potential. It's like you have so much infinite potential. You have all of this energy, but you're not directing your energy in the right place. You need to redirect it. Maybe that was the message of go, 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 because there's the energy of feeling like you need to go, 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 go. But it's like, take a moment and pause and redirect it, and redirect that energy. And I'm seeing that with the death card. It's like surrendering. I'm seeing surrendering here. Allowing yourself in a way to let the old you die. And when they say surrender, I'm seeing that as this coming face to face with whatever this is, whatever this skeleton is for you. Coming face to face, acknowledging it, because that's the hardest part for us, because even when we have an addiction, it's so hard to acknowledge that we have an addiction. It's very difficult for us to realize that. We don't want to believe we're tied to something, that we don't have the control over something, because that makes us feel powerless. And it's scary. But not confronting it, not becoming aware of it, not accepting it, accepting our truth, accepting that dark side of ourselves, is actually giving our power away, because we're allowing that to take control over us, because we're giving into fear. This can also be representing simply fear. And we could also be addicted to fear, because we just we become imprisoned to fear, and we don't allow ourselves to move from where we're at because of fear. And they're like, no, like it's just a skeleton. It's something that you can easily get through. No, the word wouldn't be easily, because I know it's not easy, but you have the strength to do so. So be courageous. I wouldn't say fearless, because there is fear here. It's having courage, because remember, having courage means having that fear, but going at it anyways, because you want to get to the other side. And I'm seeing that light of the end of the tunnel in this death card here. And it's also speaking of letting go of this image you have of yourself. If we cannot accept this truth of ourselves, it's because maybe we have this image of ourselves like, oh, I cannot accept that this is a part of me, because that would mean that I'm not this pristine, this beautiful, this innocent being, or whatever others people have envisioned for me, or other people see me as. I'm no longer that. I'm not longer this flower. But see how this flower is upside down. See how it's allowing its petals to fall. It's like kind of unveiling itself unapologetically. And it's surrender. Take off the masks. Because holding on to the idea of other people, or how other people perceive you, or how other people want you to be, is keeping you imprisoned. And it's actually causing maybe this anger within you. It's causing like this savage or this wildness within you. Because it's like the moon is howling at the moon. It's yearning for something more. And since you can't find it anywhere, you're looking for it outside of you. You might look it in substances or in other things, trying to fill yourself, but it's like filling a void. You will forever be hungry. And it's because what you're looking for is not out there. What you're looking for is in you. You're looking for yourself. So go find yourself. And I'm seeing direction here. I'm seeing as once you surrender, once you confront this thing, once you're like, okay, fine, I want to feel better. I want to move on forward. I want to finally release, let go of this. I don't want to be a prisoner to something that is not of me. Then as soon as you surrender to that, then I'm seeing direction. It's like that light. It's like finally you find a way through. Like, have you guys seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Lover's Cave? It's all dark and they can't find the way out. And as soon as they turn off all the lights, because they're holding candles, as soon as they allow all the lights to turn off for it to become completely dark, then these crystals glow in order to show the way out. So sometimes it is in darkness that we see the light. It is in darkness when we find the truth. But it's only when we finally surrender to it. And I believe in this darkness that you're feeling now, once you just accept it, acknowledge it, once you enter that tunnel, then you will find your way out, because the universe is not going to abandon you. Once you set the intention, I want to heal, I want to move forward, the universe will work with you and they will give you direction. I'm seeing this is an actual path, and like this is like the end of the tunnel, and then all the birds are there. It's like a new day. And it's beautiful because we have birds here, and then we have this bird here representing hope. So have hope. Have hope, because you will make it through. See, this bird is flying over the flowers, reaching for the sun. I asked for one card to give me a direct message from Spirit, and this is what came up. Oh, it's the House, and this is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups it represents reunions. It represents a soul connection. It just represents peace for me and serenity. It's coming home. So that's what I'm seeing here, coming home. And you know what I'm seeing is coming back home to yourself. Coming back home to yourself. You are attached to something. If you are attached to something, or you feel you can't let go of something, it's because maybe you're looking for something to fill you. But it's telling you here, there's nothing out there that will fill that void. Because the only thing that will fill it is you. You've just been waiting. Your inner self has been waiting to come back home. You've been waiting for yourself to come back home to you. You are the home. Your vessel is your house. You're living with yourself 24/7. So make that a safe space for yourself. If it's difficult, if the healing journey is difficult, when it gets bad, when you feel like you're going backwards instead of forwards, do not hate yourself. Do not start saying bad things to yourself, because it's a healing process. It's like a child who's learning to ride the bike and you scold him for falling. You are that inner child within yourself. Be gentle with yourself. And sometimes I was seeing it the other time. When we feel like we're healing, we're going upwards, and then all of a sudden we feel like we're going 10 steps back, right? It's like we feel like the wheel is turning, right? And then we're like, oh, we fall back into something. It's like the wheel turning back again. But I think it's the other way around. It's like when we're trying to get out of something or a cycle, the wheel is turning. The wheel has to turn to a certain point for completion, right? So it's turning, and it reaches that bottom part again where we began, right? Like that trigger or that addiction. And it's not because we're going 10 steps back where we feel like we fell back into it, but it's actually you're going back to that base point. And it's actually processed, because going back to that base point, it's universe allowing you to do something different now. It's like we're going back to the base where things started, where you do things different now. And now is your opportunity to really make that change. So now when the wheel turns, it's turning in a whole new atmosphere. So you're moving forward constantly. You're moving forward once you made up your mind to heal. And remember that that void you've been trying to fill, you're not gonna fill it with things outside of you. It's within the self. Okay? And then I asked for one card to represent your general energy, the general energy for this group. Like what is your energy once you heal, once you release this? And it was perfect because we have the snake here. This speaks of transformation. This speaks of this death energy. The snake sheds its old skin in order to grow. It has to shed the old skin in order to grow. If it doesn't shed the old skin, then it can't grow. It causes hurt within the self. And in this, what you've been resisting, it's causing you hurt. This needs to be let go of. You need to push forward because it's real. It's like the snake. It's releasing that skin, and it's not because it's not because you're gonna literally die that it feels like you're dying. It's just because you're letting go of an old part of you for a new one to begin. And I know, for my little knowledge that I have, I'm not an expert in this, but when we have like substance addictions, in the moment of healing, when we're clearing out, right, the substances from the body, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain, and it feels like one's dying, and you want to. And then that's when the person relapses in a way, right? They think that they need that substance in order to survive because they literally feel that they're gonna die. But it's not because they're gonna die. You as the outsider know that. It's because their body is healing. It's because a part of them, that toxin is dying in their body, so that their new so that their body can be reborn into this healthier version. So you're being reborn into this healthier version. You have to go through that dark space in order to get into the light. You have to go through that dark tunnel in order to reach the other end. Let me read the message in the back here. Release. As Snake moves through the millennia, she teaches us about change, reflection, and balance. She models perseverance in the face of hardship and inspires us to journey in self-reflection. Snake encourages us to shed our skin, discarding the items in our life that no longer add value. With the fresh outlook, challenges become possibilities, and possibilities become opportunities. We become the master of our past, present, and future. Untethered and free of trappings, our destiny becomes our own. Do not be prisoner of anything outside of you. For you are limitless and you are a free being. Now this could be in terms of a relationship, a fear, a phobia, a mentality you have of yourself, or this perception others put on you, of you. Have hope. If it's dark right now, if it feels horrible right now, have hope. For things will change. Things are changing. Do not resist the change. For with change comes growth. Okay? So now let us move on to the notes section. Okay, group number 3. I came back to your reading. I put all the cards back. I actually went to take a little break. I went to get some juice, some pineapple juice, and also to recharge my phone because it was running out of battery. I know your reading is long enough already, but after I just went back to take a look at this card, and after I read this message, some things are whole only when they shatter. My ears started ringing, both of them, and they just wouldn't stop. And the only thought that coming back to my mind is, you need to go back, you need to point this message out to them. And so, I think they were telling me, Spirit was telling me to come back and point this message to you. Some things are whole only when they shatter. Also, the message of, you are not broken. You are not broken. Okay? And when we feel we are coming apart, it's only so we can see ourselves. So we can see our pieces. Now, I do not remember the term, but there is this beautiful term in Japanese that means it's this pottery art, that things like pottery that shatters, they recreate it, and when they glue it back together, they glue it with this gold filling, and it's actually one of the most prized and beautiful pieces in the Japanese art. And so it's finding beauty in the falling. It's just like fall in autumn, when a leaf falls, is finding beauty in that and surrendering to it. And the leaf falls and surrenders to it because it knows that once it falls to the ground, it will be rebirthed again, because the leaf acts as fertilizer to the tree that gave it life. So again, you are not broken. You are just transforming. Okay? So that was all the message for you guys. Okay, so we are going to pull first, just for fun, you can ask a general inquiry. So if you have a question or you want to get a specific message from a specific someone, now is the time to do so. Oh goodness, the hair, embarrassing. Okay, and we're gonna be using our pendulum over here. Oh, another one fell over here. Oh, a lot of them fell. Pendulum, can you please show us what a no looks like? Can you please show us what a yes looks like? As you can see, a yes is a circular motion and a no is a back and forth or side to side motion. Okay, so now it's for general inquiries. I'm just doing general inquiries for group number 3, water. No, that's a no. Now, water does represent also flow and change. It's also cleansing. The water is used to cleanse and to heal. So this is truly a healing journey for you guys. But in order to heal, you must let go of what is causing you harm. You must accept the healing. Accept and want to be healed. To know. I kind of space out when I ever do these pendulum with the notes. So no. That's a no. It's a yes. Bumping into the camera. No. Answering general inquiries for group number 3. No. 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 Yes. No. Okay. So we have quite a few messages for you guys. First message is, do you hear my call? I am here. Okay. Second message. Always. Okay. And the last message for you guys. Truth. Okay. So now we're going to be receiving a specific and direct message from Spirit for you guys. So a healing message or just any message Spirit wants you to hear at this moment. No? No. Direct message from Spirit for group number 3. Direct message from Spirit for those who chose group number 3. Okay, we have 1. Direct message from Spirit for those who chose group number 3, please. Direct message from Spirit for those who chose group number 3, please. No. Direct message from Spirit for those who chose group number 3. No. No. Okay, yes. No. And the last one. No. Okay, so we have 2 messages for you guys. Yep, no. Okay. Time and distance are nothing to the eternal. Okay, so these are the messages for you guys. I hope this reading resonated. I hope it helped. I hope it brought some clarity, some guidance, some healing. If it did, please like or comment. Yeah, if you want to stick around for more readings, then please do subscribe. And if you are seeking personal guidance and you wish to have a personal reading with me, then all the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, seekers who chose group number 4, the element of fire. So firstly, I will begin with an intuitive message. So the messages I received when connecting with the energy of this group was of rise and lead. Actually, the word willow of the wisp came to mind. I'm not very knowledgeable on what that is, but it felt like guidance, like Spirit is guiding you. And I did sense this light as if I was walking in this forest and there was a lot of trees crowded together, so it seemed a bit dark, but all of a sudden, like, there was a path that gave way and light. It was like a, what do you call it, like a meadow, and the sun was shining bright. Yeah, so like follow or lead, like you're being given guidance. So now let's look at the cards. So I pulled one oracle card for you guys. Now this oracle card, I am not going to give it an interpretation. This oracle card is your healing medicine. I am going to read the messages here for you. Really what I want for you to do is to sit with the messages, see what comes through, see what rises in you, what emotions, what thoughts, what the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the messages or see them, or when you look at the image of the card. Because I just want you to realize that you have also the ability, the power for you to heal yourself. You are also a healer. You have the knowing within yourself. It is just a matter of fact of listening to that inner knowing, listening to your intuition. Okay, so this is the oracle card for you guys, and we have Edvard Munch. I might not be pronouncing the name correctly, I am so sorry, but this is the name of the artist. So the messages we have here are: A composed soul is not necessarily a calm one. Scream into a canvas, not a pillow. Ask anxiety to pose for you. I actually love this card. So this is your oracle card. So now let us move into the other cards. So I pulled a tarot card for you guys to get the general energy of this group, what needs healing or what is the guidance for this group. I asked for one card, but of course 2 fell out, so I took them. So the first card that fell out is Page of Vessels, Otter. 7 of Stones, healing. Okay, pretty obvious. Okay, so let's put them right here. So Page of Vessels, Otter. So the Page of Vessels in the traditional tarot is the Page of Cups. Now the Page of Cups is a very innocent energy. It's very creative, it's very dreamy, very poetic, but it's very romantic. But with the otter here, otters, they're very sweet, they're very nurturing, they take care of their young, but they're also very mischievous. They're very playful. What I'm seeing here with the otter, it's like I'm getting this message of taking a leap, like taking a leap of faith. Now the Page of Vessels traditionally also speaks of receiving an offer, right? It's this page that's offering their cup. I'm seeing it here for some reason as taking a leap. I'm seeing this page as being very hesitant. Now we do see that the water here, that the stream is actually, the current is pretty strong. The water is flowing. So I'm seeing change here, like actual change. Now when I see a stream of water and it's flowing, it always reminds me of like guidance from spirit, because when we surrender to the current, then we allow ourselves to be guided, right? There's no resistance. So then the universe can lead us to where we need to be, where we want to be, where our heart truly desires to be. And so I'm seeing that this otter is kind of hesitant to jump into this river because the current might seem a little strong. But I think it's a bit strong because it's kind of anxious to get you to where you are, because it feels like change is coming. Now, water does represent healing to me, because we often use water to cleanse, right? We take showers to clean our bodies, but also just taking a shower, not necessarily like a salt bath, but just allowing water to wash over us, it can actually help us cleanse energetically if we set that intention, if we envision it. Sometimes we feel very mucky, we feel very down, and then we just take a shower and then we feel all better, all rejuvenated, all fresh, like we can think clearer. Well, at least that's the case for me. So I'm seeing water being very healing for you, and it's very funny because we've gotten opposing elements according to like what was in the bottle. So the opposing element of fire is water. I don't know, I'm not sensing you're rash with your decisions, but maybe you are rash with your decisions. Maybe you do suffer like from anxiety, or you get panicky or nervous. It's like I'm getting this anxious energy here with this otter, and you might feel like that's a detriment to you, or a negative quality that you have, or it's something that you might be healing or in the process of healing. But how can I say this? Sometimes it's getting to know yourself, because for example, I'm getting an anxious energy from this otter, but nothing, you see, there's no actual danger here. The current is running pretty strong, but we don't see an actual danger here because the otter, they're great swimmers. I mean, their element is water. That's their natural habitat, so they will be safe in the water. But it's like when we get sometimes anxious, it's because we might be, our body is picking up on a change, that something is coming, something is like that, saying something's just around the bend, but you can't see what it is. And sometimes when we pick up that energy of change, and we're actually very used to the fear and to the anxiety, we quickly label that as being that fear or anxiety, like something's bad's gonna happen. Something bad is gonna happen, I know it. And then we think about it, we think about like all the bad scenarios, and then we can manifest it, right? Because our thoughts, like, that's how we manifest, through our thoughts and through our emotions. So sometimes it's just getting to know your body. Your body is very intuitive, so when it has that like anxious energy, it's not because something bad is actually going to happen, right? It might be because it's just picking up that a change is going to occur. And I'm actually seeing this bend here, like a change, like the current is running strong because a change is occurring. And so when you pick up on that, like, don't try to label it, because as soon as we label something, then we focus on that label, we focus on the meaning of that label. And if we have associated that label with the negative meaning, then that's all we pay our attention to, and that's the energy we send out. And of course, what we send out, we receive, right? So it's like, pay attention to your body. I'm also seeing water here in terms of intuition. I feel like you're very intuitive beings, like you pick up on a lot. So it's getting to know yourself a bit more, because I'm seeing this very like young energy here, and it's like there's still yet to grow, there's still yet to learn and to mature. And I'm seeing this as maturing emotionally, and it's in the sense of maturing emotionally, it's just getting to know your emotions, getting to know what a certain feeling actually means, instead of just quickly labeling it. And like I said, your intuition, you pick up on things pretty strongly. So don't try to label them right off the bat. Sit with them and try to truly understand what it's trying to tell you. Sometimes it might even be energy that you're picking up from other people. So sit with yourself and just ask your body, is this mine? If it's not mine, then please leave my body, right? And you will notice a difference. You will notice an answer. Your body will reply to you. There will be a shift in what you're feeling or in the energy that you felt. So I'm sensing that sit with yourself, because I'm sensing wariness here. Oh, I just noticed, and there's this moss growing underneath the rock. So it's like that meaning is like, if you've only flipped the stone, you would notice that what you've been looking for was underneath there all along. So if you've only take this movement forward, if you only took that leap of faith, then you will be led to where you desire to be, or where you've been wanting. And it's not resisting your emotions, it's acknowledging them, because the more we resist them, or the more we push them down, then the more we will feel like they're consuming us, because we're actually, what it's doing is kind of like plugging the sewer or the pipe. It just gets stuck there, but it accumulates. At one point, that pipe is going to burst. It's not helping. So it's being more like the river here and letting it flow. And it's just acknowledging it. It's like, okay, I'm feeling this. And once you acknowledge it, I usually just think that emotions just want to be acknowledged, because they're here to help us. They're part of the senses, and they're here to help us understand our situation, understand our environment. And so it's just getting more in tune with your emotions. I see we do have the healing card here, which is self-explanatory, but I want you to notice we have the green woman here. The green woman in this deck is the Empress, but when I see the green woman, I always relate her to Mother Gaia, to divine feminine, and divine feminine is connected with that water element. She is of intuition, she is emotions, she is receptivity, and also vulnerability. Being vulnerable means being open to your emotions, being aware of them, accepting them, allowing them to flow. And I'm also seeing them as allowing them to pass by. Imagine if this were, I'm just imagining that, like the Japanese restaurants where they have that kind of like a conveyor belt thingy, and they put plates there with like the sushi or the dish, and they just pass by, and whichever you want, you just take it. And so I'm seeing this as like your emotions passing by on this river, round and round, and this otter is just like noticing them. Oh, okay, that's what it is. Okay, and it lets it pass by. Oh, okay, that's what it is, and it lets it pass by, and so on and so on. But it doesn't like get it and stick with it, because if you get it, if you stick with it, then that's why you sit in that one emotion for a long time, right? And that's not what it's meant to be, unless you want to study it, analyze it, and understand like what it is or where it's coming from. But it's better to just see it, acknowledge it, and then let it go, right? In order to continue to move forward, to allow the flow to occur. And I think that is part of the healing process here. And it's coming into your femininity, because I'm seeing here a man, right? So I'm just seeing this as representing divine masculine. Divine masculine is usually represents like the 3D, the physical reality, working for things, bringing things into fruition, into the 3D. But I'm seeing like this man, the green woman is helping heal this man, the divine feminine aspect in him, because we all carry those two energies. Divine feminine and divine masculine are two energies that we all carry within us. It doesn't mean gender, it doesn't mean sexuality, it's just energies. And so I feel that maybe you've been pushing or avoiding that divine feminine aspect in you, which is your emotions, because you feel like whenever you do, it consumes you or it takes over your life, and you just don't like that. You don't like to be that in tuned. But it seems that that's one of your main aspects. It's like it seems that you're just so naturally in tune with your intuition, with emotions. And so it's telling you, do not reject that part of yourself. Do not reject that part of yourself, because that is a part of you. Rejecting it is only making the situation a bit worse. So allow yourself to be, allow yourself to flow, allow things to be. Yeah, sit with yourself, understand yourself more. If you're a person who maybe works in order to not really sit with your emotions, in order to not feel, because it becomes too much, because maybe you feel too much and you use work or certain things as distraction, then what it's causing is a great imbalance, because you're overly exerting your divine masculine energy and you're not paying attention to your divine feminine. So there is this imbalance within you, and you might feel that you might feel tired, you might feel drained, or you might even feel more anxious by rejecting or pushing aside your emotions. And know that I'm just being pulled back to the message. Sorry, I paused. It says, a composed soul is not necessarily a calm one. Scream into a canvas, not a pillow. Ask anxiety to pose for you. Yeah. So your emotions are not your enemy. They're not your enemy. Divine feminine, the green woman also speaks of creativity, is connecting with the self. Connecting with the self to bring something into life, to bring a project into life, a creative project. And really I'm sensing a lot of divine feminine energy here, be it creativity, be it intuition. Really, it's like your talent comes from that emotions, comes from being connected to that divine aspect, feminine aspect within you, to that vulnerability. And so allow those emotions to be like colors and spill them on the canvas. Paint, create. They're here to tell you something. They're here to let you know more about yourself, to let you know about the world, to discover it like in a new lens. And it's quite different. How you see it is going to be quite different from maybe what the average Joe sees the world like. And it's going to be quite beautiful in its own way. So maybe this leap of faith is maybe in a project, like maybe, I don't know, maybe you do want to paint, but you're like, what? Or maybe when you paint, it's just splashing colors everywhere, and you're like, well, how can this be art? Remember, art is a form of expression. You're expressing your emotions. You're expressing what's within you. Let it be. And I think that would be very therapeutic for you. That would be a way of allowing it to flow and not be attached to it. Because once you put it out there, then it's kind of you releasing and letting go of it. It's this healing. I feel a form of art will be very healing for you. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be painting. It can be writing. It can be dancing. It can be singing, doing music. It can be editing, composing. It can be, I don't know why I'm thinking of like jujitsu or karate. Whatever it is. Whatever it is that allows you to just like exert that emotions, exert what you're feeling into a positive, in a positive way that's healing for you, then yeah, go for it. Because I am seeing something here that I think you thought of, like a creative project. You're kind of hesitant in taking a leap of faith in that, but Spirit wants you to know it will be very healing for you. Yeah, if you sense that this is something good and positive for you, but you're just kind of fearful of that change, then they're telling you take that leap of faith, because it will actually be very healing for you. You won't be running away from this any longer. You will be able to, the word manage it came through, but maybe it can be managing it, but it's more like accepting it and seeing it as a skill, as a tool, rather than as a defect, because it's not a defect. Yeah, the Divine Feminine strives in being vulnerable, and it's her most strongest aspect. I mean, it requires a lot of strength and courage to be vulnerable. I always say that in the readings, but it's true, because if you look around, not anyone can be vulnerable. Takes a lot of courage. So now we will look at the oracle cards that will serve as clarifiers, and the first card that fell out, Seasons. Yes. This one fell on horizontal intuition. Potential and the moon. Oh my goodness. Okay, seasons. Seasons speaks of change. I was sensing change. There's something around that bend for you. What's around the river bend? Yeah, and I'm thinking of like wind too, like colors of the wind here. But seasons do represent change for me. Something, it's the closing of one thing in order for something new to begin. Right? The tree has to shed its leaves to enter winter, because it knows that after winter, spring comes. It will be like rejuvenated. It's like going 10 years back, 100 years back for the tree, being young all over again. So it's closing a chapter, and even though it might seem scary, know that it's a change for the better, because that's what life is about. Life is about cycles, right? If we get stuck in a situation, if this river got stuck, it's because there's muck somewhere that's keeping the flow from going, right? And then when water stays too long stagnant in a place, it becomes stale. And we don't want that to happen. We want that continuous flow. So I feel the seasons is validating that change. Change is coming, but it's for transformation. It's for growth, because something better is coming. And to validate it further for you, we have potential here. Whatever it is, that project, that creative project that is very healing for you, that is good for your mind, brings a stability to your mind, to your heart, and to your soul. It's like, it's this seed here, like you thought about it. I feel like your spirit guides, the universe has planted this seed in your mind for a while, but you've been refusing to actually take part of it. But they're telling you it's been growing. It's been growing in you, and it's kind of edging you forward, because there is potential here. This will grow into something stable. And I'm saying stable because what is deeply rooted will grow long term. And we have a bunch of roots here. And we have this sun in the background. Sometimes I see this as a womb. So it's like something That's what I'm talking about, divine feminine, right? The divine feminine is about the womb. It's about creation. So it's something that you will create. I feel you will create it from scratch. It's something that's coming from you, directly from you. And it will grow. It will grow and it's stable. And with the moon here, the moon also speaks of intuition. It's divine feminine again. We usually associate the moon with feminine energy. And I also see it as subconscious here, intuition, because we see the reflection of the moon here, and it's like diving deep into the waters, diving deep into your subconscious. And I'm seeing emotions again here, like diving deep into your emotions, but not letting yourself drown in them. Right? Is recognizing, learning them. And again, it's like I'm seeing like as using them as your palette. Using them as your palette to express yourself. If you're not one to be good with words like I am, then it maybe this form of expression you're thinking about, this project will help to better understand yourself and for others to better understand you. It's a way of self-expression. And it's like maybe you were asking for that. Maybe you were asking for the universe to help you to help create something, a format for you to be able to talk to the world, to express yourself. And this is it. It's a talent that you have. It's something that's innate in you. It's like your emotions, and this will allow yourself to really connect. I'm seeing connections here with the roots, with the world, on a very deep level. Yeah. And this will also allow you to get to know yourself better. To get to know yourself better and to not be afraid anymore. To not be afraid of that part of you, because I feel there's nothing to fear once you get to know it. Because it won't be taking control over you any longer. And with the moon phases here, I'm also seeing change and transformation. Now, I take cards when they fall horizontally. I take them because I see them as foundation or base. So this is the base here, the foundation, and the energy we have here where everything else is kind of like founded and rooted in is intuition. Again, I feel that is one of your skills. Like, it's your intuition. You're a very intuitive being. Like, most of us, all of us have divine feminine, divine masculine energy, but sometimes one pops out or is more prevalent in us than the other, and that's because we need balance in the world. So when we create relationships with other people, one represents more of the divine masculine or feminine, and that's to create balance in the relationship. And so I feel your divine feminine is very prevalent. You're very intuitive. You're very connected with your emotions, like I already mentioned. And that is your foundation. That is your strength. So use it. I feel like you see it as a weakness, and they're like, it's not a weakness. And I don't feel like there's that saying, use your weakness as your armor. That's not the case. It's like, use what you perceive to be your weakness as your tools, as your strength. Because it is your strength. It is your brush. It is your palette to create the world that you want to live. So do not shun it. It's like, do not shun it, because that's like your foundation. Yeah. So I asked for one card, and this is a direct message from Spirit. We have ring. Ooh. So the ring speaks of promises. It all can also speak of engagement. I was talking about relationships, right? It might be that you might be entering a relationship pretty soon. Because we do have the Queen of Cups here. Whoa, there's a lot of divine feminine energy here. The Queen of Cups is like Cancer energy. Cancer energy exudes divine feminine energy. It's again about nurture. It's about intuition. It's about emotions. Cancer energy is very receptive to emotions, but that's their strength. I would say that the Queen of Cups, her throne is like emotions. That's what she's sitting on. Like her crown would be made of like water. Her feet, I believe, are they like on water? Like that's her ground, right? She's not shying away from it. It's like the otter. That's its habitat. That's its environment. It's water. So dive deep into your waters, because you will not drown. You will not drown. So do not struggle against it, because when we struggle when we're trying to swim, but we struggle, we kick and we struggle, then that causes us to drown, because we naturally float, right? So when we just surrender and we trust, then all is good. And I don't know, I'm seeing it also as a promise, maybe a promise to you. Maybe this is a commitment, like committing to this project, committing to yourself, committing to your healing, committing to your self-growth. And it's once you commit to it, the universe is giving you this ring. They're committing to you as well, that they will help you grow, that they will bring what you want into fruition, that all will be well, that you will succeed, whatever success means to you. Yeah, and I'm seeing 2 and 3, we add them up. In numerology, and we have 5, and 5 speaks of transformation. Yeah, there is transformation here. There is healing. It's taking that leap of faith, and they're telling you, take that leap of faith, and we promise you all will be well. Okay, so I have one more card. This is an oracle card, and I was just asking, what is like the energy, the overall energy of this group, like the essence? If we heal this, if we clear this out, what is the essence that's like waiting underneath? And we have the squirrel. So cute. The squirrel. Okay, I got excited for no reason. The squirrel speaks of playfulness. Like, have you seen a squirrel? Some people see them as savages, because if they want something, like if they want this acorn, they go and get it. If you're eating outside, you're eating a snack, and they see your snack, they're gonna find the right opportunity to go get it. They're go-getters. They take that leap of faith. They don't second guess it, and they try and they try again. My sister showed me this video about they made these obstacles for like squirrels, and the squirrels, they didn't give up. They tried and they tried again, even though like they failed multiple times at the obstacle that was created for them. They went at it and they fell, but when they fell, they realized all is right, because they were in their element. So they were protected. It's like the universe will protect you. All will be well. It's just take that leap of faith. And the squirrels also, if you see them, like the whole world is their playground. The whole world is their home. They don't care. They will just, yeah, it's their playground. So I'm seeing that would be the energy. It's like once you realize that this anxiety, this fear is not to tie you down, it's like once you find that release, it's like finding a freedom within yourself. And it's like really, you will see the world in a new light. You will see that the world is your playground. You will paint it in the colors that you want. I don't know, I also think like squirrels speak like a very secret language. Yeah, I'm seeing grounding here as well. And we also have blue. Blue represents like throat chakra, speaking your voice. It also correlated with emotions. Okay, but here's a message in the back. Squirrel necessity. When Squirrel appears in our lives, he encourages us to relish in necessity, in the comfort of his friends and family. He enjoys the basic tenets of life, surrounded by the essentials. Squirrel reminds us to review our provisions in preparation for inner expeditions. He demonstrates the supreme importance of fostering reserves in times of depletion and lightening the load when heavy-hearted. His presence teaches us to dispose of clutter, to welcome joy into our lives. I'm pulled to this last message. His presence teaches us to dispose of clutter, to welcome joy into our lives. It's again, I feel like not holding on to your emotions, but allowing them to pass by and allowing them to be a form of tool for you. Yeah. Like I was saying, like paints, to paint a picture, and then that way you release them. Okay, but now let's look at the notes, messages for you guys. Okay, so to make this fun, if you have a specific question or you want a specific message from someone, then now is your time to ask it. We're going to first answer general inquiries, and then we're going to be pulling messages from your spirit guides, from spirit for you guys, okay? Okay, that's enough. So quite a few fell. So now is the time to ask that general inquiry. Okay. So Pendulum, can you please show us what a yes looks like? Okay, as you can see, a yes is a circular motion. Pendulum, can you show us what a no looks like, please? So you can see a no is a back and forth or side to side motion, okay? So answering general inquiries for group number 4. Okay, so that's a yes. I space out whenever I do this section. I don't know why. Answering general inquiries for group number 4. No. General inquiries for group number 4. General inquiries for group number 4. Okay, we have another one. You guys might actually also be very passionate individuals, but maybe you're afraid of that passionate energy. You might be, I'm sensing like some of you might be very, like, you see a show, a cartoon, and when you talk about it, you're just so passionate about it. And for maybe people have brought you down because of this. Oh, another one. And starting to boss, and you feel like that's something negative or a bad thing, but that's a beautiful quality. It's so beautiful to be so passionate about something. So yeah, explore that passion and direct it into something healthy and positive. Okay, see general inquiries, answer general inquiries for group number 4. That's a lot of messages for you guys. See, very passionate. Okay, let's see. Try to open them as fast as I can because these readings are getting long. Okay, so the first answer is no. If there's so many, you can ask like maybe a specific question as I open each one. Next one is open your heart, and when you do, think of me. Okay. I wonder if a lot of people will be choosing this pile. I'll be there. Okay. The next message is you are protected. And the next message is boom. There is light in you, remember. Next one is I think of you as well. Okay, so those are the messages for general inquiries. Let's move this aside. And now we're going to get a specific message from Spirit for you guys. So this could be a healing message or just a message that Spirit wishes for you to hear at this moment. So a specific message from Spirit for group number 4. Specific message from Spirit for group number 4. Specific message from Spirit for those who connected with group number 4. Okay, we have 1. Specific message from Spirit, please. Yes. Okay, so this group got a lot of messages. Okay, so let's see what Spirit has to say to you guys. For the seed, growth is growth, whether it be roots, the stem, or a single leaf. So remember that potential card. For the seed, growth is growth. So there has been growth here. There has been change in terms of the roots. The next step is now the stem. So there must be change. Okay, so that's 1. So if you feel you haven't been making progress, this is a confirmation that you have. That you will be making more progress. Okay, so some friendships are so strong they can even transcend lifetimes. This is from the character Roku from the cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender. And the last message for you guys is, dun, 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 dun. Okay. Oh, and I'd give up forever to touch you, because I know that you feel me somehow. Iris the Goo Goo Dolls. Okay, so I'm seeing partnership here, and we did have the engagement ring, so maybe there is a connection you guys are feeling and you're asking about, or Spirit wants to confirm this. There is some form of engagement and commitment to a specific someone. Yeah, so those are messages for you guys. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you resonated, if this message brought you some clarity or guidance and some healing, then please do comment or like. If you want to stick around for more readings with me, then please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment. Oh, I do offer personal readings. If you're interested, all of the information is in the description box down below. Okay, bye-bye.